Welcome back everybody, my name is Max Rank and this is Monte Grappa. So today we find ourselves in the Monte Grappa Massif. The Battle of Monte Grappa was in fact 3 battles fought between November 1917 and October 1918. The first battle and the largest was conducted by the Austro-Hungarian army with the assistance of the German army's elite Alpen Corps. It began in November of 1917 and raged on until December. The Italians had created a massive fortified defence on the mountain ranges of Monte Grappa, and although at one point the Austrians could actually see Venice, they would never reach it. The second battle was actually part of the Austrians' wider summer offensive of 1918, and this would prove to be their last. The third and final battle for the mountain came at the end of 1918 in October, when the Italians made their final offensive of the war and sporting 9 divisions made a huge attack on the Austro-Hungarian army. The Austrians brought up all the reserves they had, but the battle-weary army initiated a full-scale retreat after only 4 days of battle. So there's the history out the way. Now let's have a look at the map. As you can see, I am spawning in on the Austro-Hungarian side under the blue arrow, and the Italians are on the red arrow side on the opposite end of the map. The map at first glance gives you the viewpoint that it is actually linear. This map is anything but linear, and that is because it's set within the mountains, and the rises, peaks and falls and the elevation changes between some of these flags make this map completely unconventional from a typical linear map layout. The opening run routes on this map are different to many other maps, in as much as there really are only 2 per side, as you can see from the map image. Coming off the spawn on the Italian side, you run up onto the A flag, but it's worth noting that if you stand to the left of the barn to capture this point initially, you'll protect yourself from the sneaky pilots who like to spawn in on the other side and immediately fly straight over apples and bomb the whole team on the first cap. This works both ways, and similarly there is a barn on the Austro-Hungarian side, and I'd advise standing on the right side of that one. Once off apples on the Italian side, you have 2 choices: push straight ahead for Charlie or start the long climb up the mountain to Butter. If you're running assault, medic or support classes, you may prefer the Charlie route, but be aware this is not only a hotspot for infantry, but it's also the main choke point for tanks. Running up onto Charlie will see you push headlong into the Austro-Hungarian team doing the exact same thing. Climbing the mountain towards Butter is safer route. To take in the rocks and the elevation changes of the mountainside will give you some cover from pilots above. Over to the Austro-Hungarian side, and again we see only 2 real opening routes: the straight push down the road and onto Charlie, or if I'm running this route, and bear in mind I'm a sniper, I run on the mountain side to the right of Edward, and this gives me a long line of sight of any members of the Italian team pushing over the top of Charlie. The other way is the same as the Italian side and involves climbing the mountain, except of course this time pushing onto Duff. And now for the juicy part, tips and tactics. Let's start on the Austro-Hungarian side. I prefer to climb the mountain right after capping Edward. You can just charge straight up the mountain, but I want some easy points. My route onto Duff can vary, but typically I will run around to the left of the flag and check to see if anyone from the Italian side has made it there before me. The opening capture point on Duff for me is actually below the turret cannon, and the reason behind this is I don't like being trapped inside the bunker, and after capping this flag I'm going to be pushing on the Butter immediately. Before moving towards Butter after capping Duff, check over the top of the ridgeline to see if there are any enemies coming over the hill. If they are, they're going to make for easy pickings, but more importantly will give you an idea of how aggressive the enemy team is going to be. I try to avoid using the pathways that lead to Butter from Duff, as I don't like relying on reaction time alone if coming face to face with the enemy. Instead, I like to go over the low side of the mountain, and this gives me a sight line down onto Charlie and means I'm less likely to run into the whole team pushing off Butter. Butter can be a tricky flag to cap and hold, and the tactics I employ is to use the lower rocks nearest the path to give myself some cover whilst allowing me to look across the entire Butter point. Snipers will post up behind the rocks to my left indicated on the map, whilst most players will either try to use the turret as cover or will be barricaded below in a bunker. As the assault player, the key here is to blow out the bunker door the minute you arrive on the flag. Doesn't matter if you die in the process, the whole team should be here at some point, so you're going to get a revive pretty quick. Playing as a scout like myself, I like to push around the lower edge of Butter, as I find I can catch the Italian team coming back up the mountain from apples, or catch them respawning on their teammates on the hillside. This is also a capture point, so both boxes ticked. I very rarely find myself pushing the Charlie flag, as defending the holding Duff and Butter will normally keep me busy for the entire game. However, as in the gameplay playing in the background, my team were very good, and so I decided I was going to go back and push the Charlie flag. The 2 points I like the most are indicated on the map, and both offer good cover whilst retaining the high ground. To cap Charlie, you'll have to go inside, as the gameplay will show the poor unsuspecting support player who gets shot as well as being on fire boom, double whammy. Get out of there the minute you've capped the flag. This is a death spot and at no point in hanging around there, only to be nade spammed and just, shot off the point instantaneously. The capture points when playing from the Italian side are the same, except the mountainside sniper camp spot is my favourite. I've had a 44-man kill streak from this position, and although it can be countered, it's super hard to get a good sniper out of this position. When moving on to duff from the Italian side, stay low of the path, don't follow the team over the hill. Snipers like myself will be waiting on key locations I've marked on the map, and you're going to be easy targets. I won't go over the home flags, this is pretty self-explanatory. You need to always have your home flag capped, and there you have it. That's how I play Monte Grappa. I used to hate this map, but if you play this map with some smarts, you can get some big score and huge amounts of kills. If you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see other map guides, then please check out the links below or hit the thumbnails. If you want to stay up to date on all my content, then please subscribe, and for all the latest news about my channel and Battlefield 1, follow me on Facebook, Twitter or Google+, and don't forget to check out my live stream every Wednesday at 7 PM and Saturdays at 10 AM, that's Central Time in the United States, and plus 6 hours if you're in London or anywhere else in the UK. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed. Until the next time, my name is Max and it's been emotional.